hobby. How's everybody doing? I'm running late. Just stuck in traffic, sitting in my car in the parking lot at home, by the way. Um, I was just thinking, I was listening to a lot of great content, a lot of great insight, a lot of bad insight, a lot of bad content. You know, I was just listening. I do enjoy consuming hobby content. Repacking, wow. I could definitely, I will do a session on repacking. Um, so many cool things after the national. Also, say there's nothing like major news. There was no major mergers, acquisitions, breaking stories. It was just kind of a good national. It was good. It was busy. I guess the biggest news was the line, which I thought was interesting. My tip was don't ever go early. Like I never went early one day. Now I guess it would depend on your perspective. If you're trying to get in there for the packs, you had to get in early. I understand that, but for me, I went there late every day, and I just walked right in. I parked, walked across that little bridge thing, walked right into the national. I went, bought my ticket, and walked right into the national. Every day, built my rainbow. Is the hobby too big to fail? That was my thumbnail. And that's what I'm going to spend a few minutes just kind of babbling and talking about. Is the hobby too big to fail? Is the hobby too big to fail? I think the easy answer is yes. I don't think the hobby can fail. I really don't. Is the hobby poised for a major downturn or crash? Could, but I don't. It's in a really strong position. There's a lot of things that are different. So many things that are different. So many things are the same. I talked about this yesterday about what I call real versus staged content. I had a really good example of staged content that I thought I would use. And it's from a content creator that I think everybody loves, like their favorite Care Bear. He's, you know, warm and cuddly and just always makes the funniest content. But he made a content where his thumbnail was, "I'm cornered by Tom Brady." And you might have seen this guy, see the content. I like his content. I find his content interesting. I often push back because he's very, I don't know. I think the way he approaches it, he likes to have kind of an arrogant approach of, I'm going to show you something no one else knows, but only I do because I'm really smart and you didn't pay attention. So let me tell you about it. Which I love. I do like that. Don't take that the wrong way, man. I enjoy your content. But basically, short story was, he just got stuck behind traffic because people were blocked up for Tom Brady. You could say, hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom and get by if you wanted to. You could have done that, but you didn't do that. It's okay. But it was fake content. It was staged content. There's a lot of that in this space. There's a lot of people who just want views. I realize I've got a lot of ideas and thoughts, and I wish people would pay more attention. I wish I had more views, but I'm just not that person to deliver. I don't sugarcoat stuff. I don't candy coat it. I'm too frank. Is that right? Frank? Remember that term used to be used? He's just frank about it. He's being frank about it. Like, what the hell did that mean to be frank about it? He's being honest, brutal. He's being frank about it. Anyway, the hobby. I love every part of it. Let's start with the basics. The collector community. Is that really in danger? Nope. There's no danger in the collector community. I mean, collectors out there, please tell me if I'm wrong, but you guys aren't going anywhere. You might go dormant. You might hibernate, but you're not quitting. Collectors don't quit. Give me a freaking break. They're taking cards to their grave. In fact, in the future, people will be digging up antique RPAs from freaking, tombs or something like that. Collectors don't quit. Is it harder for collector? Yeah, I do think so. At the same time, I think there's cool things to pivot into. So like on the last day I was at the National, I realized I bought a bunch of products that none of them are sport. Well, that's not true. I did buy some unlicensed college sport, but I got like a bunch of boxes that I wish I had bought more of. Like I haven't ripped any of it. I'm like, man, I wish I had 2 of these. I wish I had another one of these. For example, one of the boxes I got was the Peanuts first edition. I think this is a really cool product. I think it looks damn cool. I haven't seen any of it ripped on the internet. I don't see any of it for sale. I saw it was, I guess, promoted at San Diego Comic-Con, which makes me think to myself, I got to go to the San Diego Comic-Con, damn it. They keep dropping shit that I want to get involved in, too. My point to this is that there's so many supporting structures in the hobby. As the hobby's gotten stronger, as sports has gotten stronger, as Pokemon's gotten stronger, it's broadened the ability for more money and more people to come into the space. For example, the whole battle arena Um, Bo Jackson thing, I thought I heard Sports Car Dad talking about how he didn't know who it was, and he was getting promotions. And I'll just say, man, that's a great product. I don't know much about it. I've been kind of following it. I know in the last release, the first release, it did very well, better than people expected. I think the key was he put in some really cool on-card autographs, some rarity in that, and then grading. I'm gonna tell you something. People grade shit, it goes up in value, right? People do it in PSA with V-Friends, CGC with V-Friends. So Bo Jackson stuff did well. Is it because of Bo Jackson? Is it because of the marketing? Is it because TCG? I don't know. I think the hobby's just gotten too big. MetaZoo, why did MetaZoo fail? What did MetaZoo do wrong? I wasn't paying attention, but it just seems to me like that TCG space is ripe. Lorcana's doing well, right? V-Friends is doing well. V-Friends had a drop for the TCG thing this weekend. It just seems like a very strong market that I don't see changing. I mean, TCG, guys, has been around for 30 years. I think I'm being generous with that. Some people might say 95, 96, 97. 30 years. I think it's now a pillar, a fundamental foundation to the hobby. And with that, it's also helped fortify some other parts of the hobby that I think were weak in the past, like your pop culture, your comic book cards. All those I feel like have gotten a greater standing, better footing, because of that whole move. And then look at the sports card. Hey, people are going to complain about modern. It's a casino. Oh, people don't collect. They don't collect what they love. They're just chasing. It is an exciting place to be. I look at the kind of like if this is a water park. The modern place is definitely the wave pool. You can drown there, right? Where like that pool that you ride the raft in around the entire park. That is vintage, baby. Just get in the vintage raft and hang out, man, with some of your friends, grab some cocktails. Let's rock and roll, right? And you've got like these slides. That's pop culture. That's, man, the hobby's a water park of funness. And then the stuff that's supporting it. Let's talk about the repack. And not only that, the repack, but the liquidity market. That has grown so much recently. Go back 30, 40 years. Liquidity was non-existent. Liquidity meant you went to the card shop, and best case, you were trading your good cards in to buy packs of other cards to chase. That's ideal for everybody, man. Well, not really for you, but it was ideal for the company, because like they're buying a box. Let's say buy it for $10 at 50 cents a pack, and they're gonna trade your valuable card. You have a $5 card, they're gonna give you $4 of value for it, maybe $4 value for it, but they're gonna give it to you in packs. And the packs they didn't pay full value. You see what I'm saying? The market for them was phenomenal. But that was liquidity. And then eBay came along, right? eBay comes along, this is in the internet. I'm not going to lecture you guys here on the history of sports cards, but eBay coming in made it more liquidable. And then you had grading, and you had third parties, and you had marketplaces, and then everybody was complaining about eBay, and then you had people trying to do that eBay. Other marketplaces would come and fail. And then you had the boom of COVID. And what COVID did is, in my opinion, and we've talked about this before, right? The number one impact COVID had was, what's the word I'm looking for? Accessibility, visibility, getting it on the radar of places that people didn't even know. It brought investment people into the space. Even changed the landscape. Like it changed fanatics, right? Looked at what was going on in the card community. And they go, how much are these cards going for? Why are they selling for this much? What is licensing? They had dominated the clothing licensing market, so it kind of was a natural progression. We shouldn't have been shocked that they leaped over here. And then when they come over here, they come with a corporate approach. And you can say for better or worse, right, dude? The hobby's strong. Like, I'll give you an example. If Fanatics were tomorrow go under, fail, fall apart, poof, disappeared, what you would have happen is the leagues would have to go find people who would pick up the licenses and make products. You wouldn't wait days before companies would be standing there to do it, right? There's already a bunch of non-licensed companies, so the hobby's not gonna fail if Fanatics fails, right? I'd even say PSA, the other strong arm of the law, right? The authenticator, the grader. We just had the whole scandal with autographs. PSA is not involved as far as I know, but you have the shaking of all the authenticity. PSA is a rock star leader in visibility in this market space. If PSA went away tomorrow, if they just disappeared, poof, fell apart, something happened, I don't know, whatever you want to say. Again, CGC, SGC could even spin out a new company. There's just so much that would replace that. You see what I'm saying? Like, The hobby's too big to fail. The hobby's too big to fail. There's too much money. Like, I guess when I go to this is that someone said to me, Ziggy, are these cards really worth this much money? I'm like, dude, I'm not going to explain to you what worth is and value and lecture you on, oh, a card's worth as much as someone will pay for, but a player's value goes up and we're prospect. Let me just say this. This whole market space of craziness that goes on where people are spending lots of money and a little bit of money and a little bit of money a lot of times, and one card goes, that ain't going anywhere. That ain't changing. This is not going away. This is the hobby. Find your niche where you enjoy it the most and have fun. I had so much fun at the National. I don't buy cards. I was at a booth and I said, I don't buy singles. It's not exciting to me. I could try it sometime. I don't have any interest. Like, I even did look at cards like, maybe I try to buy some. Like, oh man, if I was gonna buy that, why not buy that? Like, why not buy that? So why not buy a box of? I'd rather buy an unopened box or buy into a break or chase or a new. And knowing how I am, I then understand, as much as I think it's crazy, why people love repacks and why people like vintage and why people like singles and why. See, I'm saying, like, once you understand your own craving, your own appetite, it's easier to start appreciating others, and then how we kind of all coexist in this big hobby that's too big to fail. So would I encourage people to get into it? I don't know. I'll tell you this. I have, for a long time, discouraged people from getting into this hobby. Not like outright kick them out or anything like that, but I've just been warning them, look, dude, it's brutal. It's not like what you think. You got to think about this and this. In fact, a friend of mine called me a few weeks ago with his son. His son is 25, by the way, not like a young kid. And his son had gotten into sports cards, and he wanted him to talk to me about the dangers, the truths about the hobby, because I'm very real. And I laughed. And I think by the time the conversation was over, I was basically recruiting the kid to jump into the hobby. Dude, you can do this, you can do that. I'm like, based on that. And it just made me think to myself, what do I feel about this? It's too big to fail. Having a lot of fun. People are making money. I think the key part really is, I think we still have a major gap of education. There still is a gap of trust and accountability. There's so much space. If there's never any accountability and never any education, this hobby won't fail. But we can make it better, and we can make it bigger, and we can make more people enjoy what we do. Okay, I'm gonna close with one last story. I can't see comments. Did you see the investor card guy, Eddie, and the no, I did not see, or Sasha. I did not. I heard Sasha was there. I did hear Sasha was there. I want to say one of the off-center guys, I was to say kids, off-center gentlemen, recorded a video with him and the spitballing guy. So Sasha was there. Oh, so I'm going to close on this last story. Back in January, our team, and I'm referring to our sports card breaking team, we brought on a new member, a new team in Dallas, a mother. I'll even say this, it's not that this is really relevant, but she's she's American by marriage, but not American by birth. So her background she has no typical understanding background of sports cards, is my point. She got into sports cards with her husband and one of my partners. And I remember when she got into it, she was I don't want to say this the wrong way. She was looking for something to put her passion and energy in. She was a hobbyist. She did a bunch of Etsy stuff. She's very crafty. She's very focused and hardworking. And she got into sports cards. I laugh because she was at the National this weekend. She had a great time. She tells me how much she loves this hobby, how passionate it is about it, how much fun she had. And I want to end on that because this is a person, like I said, who knew nothing about it at all. Probably never, ever would have learned about it. And since January, she's been to, I think, 2 or 3 Dallas card shows. She lives in Dallas, by the way. Been to a couple Dallas card shows. She went to the Fanatics Fest. And then she went to the National and just got back from that. We were texting, talking about that. And I said to her, can you believe it's been less than 7 months that you've been involved in the hobby? And she's like, no. She goes, I have so much to learn. I said, we all have so much to learn. That's one thing to remember. We all have so much to learn. I said, it's just going to be crazy. I said, now you look forward to the fall, the releases. There's so much exciting stuff coming in the fall. People are like, well, what else is going to be? I mean, October, you have the NBA coming over. I'm very excited Yes, I work with Fanatics. I'm very excited with Fanatics and what they're going to be doing in products in the future. Give them a chance. I'll put it this way, give them a chance. Let's see what they can do. And then to all the people out there who are complaining, criticizing, cheering, do what you do, baby. Do what you do. I love it. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Stay passionate. This hobby's too big to fail. We need more. We need more. More. God, I had a great summer. Oh, I did just post to my Instagram. Did a comparison of steps, right? I think Army ATC showed his steps at the National. I did more steps. Most in any steps of a day was at the Fanatics Fest. Over 20,000 steps at Fanatics Fest on Saturday. Comparing that to the NBA Summer League, where not only did I do a lot of steps in Summer League with my son, but we also, and this was in Vegas, we went and played basketball and walked to and from the arena. So that, anyway, I compared Summer League, Fanatics Fest, and National steps, and it was really kind of fun to see. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for chiming in. Really appreciate it.